r/AskReddit. What's the worst thing you've ever been accused of while being completely innocent? Drugs. Shockingly enough, my parents' divorce made me act out at 9 years old, and I kept distracting other kids in class. My mom was convinced it was because I was doing drugs and yanked hair out of my head and made me get blood tested. They found nothing because I was 9 years old. You mean you weren't doing cocaine at 9? Did you even have a childhood? I was accused of destroying a window at school by dropping a rock from a higher floor. Interrogated by the principal, parents were called, friends had to fund the repairs, bullied on the bus. It ducking sucked. Found out who it was 2 years later, but by then nobody cared. Why did your friends have to fund the repairs? The owner never came forward, so the repairs were shared between the class. I helped a friend of my mother move when I had just turned 18 for no pay, and this lady accused me of stealing one of her guns. I booked it straight to the police department to explain the situation. When she tried to report me, they told her she was crazy. They already spoke to me, and that criminals that steal guns don't go directly to the police. Our neighbor had severe dementia. My husband is very tall. His head is over the top of the fence no matter what. She filed a report that he was peeping on her. Her caretakers came to his defense, and when the cops saw him standing by the fence, they realized. But it could have gone badly. Husband steered clear of that half of the yard until she moved into assisted living. This is tame compared to others in this thread, but it's one that has stuck with me for ages. When I was really little, around 6, my aunt was babysitting me. My sweet dog was shedding fur. My aunt accused me of cutting her fur. She had me across her knee saying she wouldn't spank me if I admitted it. I was sobbing uncontrollably because I loved my dog. We were the same age, and she was like a second mom, and would never do that to her. My mom came home not long after, and I do remember her being livid. Despite my issues with my mom, she never once laid a hand on me. My mom couldn't believe that her sister never comprehended that animal sheds fur in clumps. Ma'am, trying to force a false confession under duress. Not something I usually associate with a 6-year-old. If she sinks, she's innocent. If she swims, she's a witch. My older sister did something similar. She accused me after I left her place of shaving her cat, after she noticed some bald spots on him. After denying it, because who on earth would shave someone's cat? She then assumed I had put lotion on him and he was having a reaction from it, thus resulting in hair loss, again which I did not do. Turns out, he has severe separation anxiety and would lick bald spots and sores to the point of bleeding on himself when he was alone. He now has one of these pheromone things that you stick into the wall that's supposed to calm him down and feel not alone, and I'm guessing he's doing better with it. She never apologized for accusing me, and I'm still upset she would think I would do something like that. I know this is ridiculous, but in 2nd grade another child accused me of calling my teacher a beach. No one believed me when I claimed innocence, and I got a spanking and was forced to apologize. I felt so powerless because since all the adults believed I was guilty, in effect I was. I think I'm still a little mad about it. Oh my gosh, I have a similar story. 2nd grade, got accused of writing "you are a beach" on another kid's work before he turned it in. He blamed me for it. I sat across the room from him and was a shy, quiet kid and never gave any issues. Still got sent to the office. Stupid Justin from elementary school in Bama. If you're out there, I'm still mad. Drugs. When I was in high school, I had a very monotonous voice that my parents thought was fake, and anytime we were out they would ask someone to tell me what I sound like because they thought that if I was embarrassed enough I would talk normally. Instead it made me talk less and me shut out some of my friends in my life. When they realized I wasn't talking they jumped to conclusions and accused me of doing drugs. What really made them think I was doing drugs was when I lost $20 at my school's picnic. They were constantly counting my money to see if they can prove I was doing drugs, and realized that I was missing $40 and told me to tell them what happened to it. I explained to them that I had a picnic at school and brought $40 with me, but lost half of it. They said my story didn't add up, so they started to rummage through my backpack and room anytime I wasn't at home, and would ask for the names of my friends and anyone that I was talking to so that they could run background checks on them. We lived in a townhome condo complex. My mom was fighting with the board over misused funds. When she was at work there was a knock at our door. One of the neighbors had an emergency and asked if I could come and watch her kids while she went to the hospital. Sure. I was 16 and had been babysitting for 4 years. I spent a few hours looking after two cute kids 3 and 5. I got home before my mom. We started dinner and there was a knock at the door. It was a pair of police. The mother had gone to the police station and accused me of abusing her 3-year-old. She said that I hit her and locked her in the dryer for several hours. My mom asked the cop if he was insane. She pointed out that I was the kid who picked caterpillars off the walk and put them on the grass so people didn't step on them. She asked the cops to point out the complainant. When he pointed, my mom asked me if I was crazy because that's the woman who stole funds from the condo board. Why would I go there? I said I didn't know that and that she said she had to go to the hospital immediately because her dad had had a heart attack. The cops said they would be back. They came back an hour later and said I would not need to come with them after all. Turns out dad was alive and well. I wasn't so well after having a full-blown panic attack for an hour. In 3rd grade, I walked to a convenience store with $2 and spent 20 minutes trying to decide what candy to get, picking things up and putting them back. The old lady clerk accused me of stealing and said to never come back. That was a bit problematic, given it was the only gas station in my small town, and I've moved back and been living here for the last 15 years. Have you gone back? His car has been running on empty for 15 years. I was 14 and had just started to learn how to use a digital camera. The only one I had at the time was my mom's. Sometime after my birthday, the SD card that was my mom's went missing. My dad immediately went to blame me for it, and my mom was hoping I didn't do it. After over an hour of interrogating me, we still couldn't find it. Come to find out, my mom had put it in her normal place of valuables she keeps it in. I didn't even get a ducking apology. I had something just like this, but I was using my little sister's DS to transfer Pokemon. She had Mario Kart in it, and I had put it back in the case. After I was done, the case had a flap that covered the games to protect them. She can't find it the next day, so everyone jumps on my butt and blames me for losing it. After searching, I said wait a minute and got her case, and sure enough, the game is right there, saying I lost a game and then telling me I have to replace it for over an hour, and it was right where I ducking put it. No apology or anything. Still infuriates me. Probably kicking my young son. I was carrying something like hot tea or soup and he went to grab me, so I put my knee out to stop him getting close to me and scolding himself, but for some reason everyone else in the room thought I kicked him or kneed him. Very strange situation. During one of the busiest shifts at a cafe bar I used to work at, while hastily carrying lots of orders at once, I accidentally kicked this very little boy running around. I went to the wardrobe crying after apologizing and treating him and his mom. They were very nice about it all, and turns out he ran into my leg and fell on his bum. I did not kick him. We all laughed about it afterwards, but I kept feeling so bad about it for the rest of the day. About 5 years ago, I was learning to snowboard. Had a teacher show me stuff on the bunny hill. I was going down with very little control when a 5-year-old kid and I slowly collided into each other. It was slow enough that I clearly saw it coming, but neither of us could prevent it. After the hit, he started crying and telling his dad he wanted to go home. It sucked. Posted this before, but seems relevant. I was fighting with my brother, realized the fight was dumb, so I just went to my room. My brother decided to punch himself and blame me. My mom is yelling at me and grounding me. I can't believe you did that to your brother, blah blah blah. So I figured, if I was about to get in trouble for it, I should actually do it. I turned around and actually clocked my brother in the face, to which he responded, I can't believe she actually did that, and my mom realized he had been lying. I ended up not getting in trouble. So many people with siblings are living vicariously through you right now. My sister put soap on her toothbrush, then blamed me and my brother once. I was actually kind of impressed at the time. When I was 11, I was accused by a babysitter that I was molesting my sister when I was really playing my Nintendo DS with her. It was completely unbelievable because she said that she made it all up because she didn't want to change diapers. She got fired by my mom and the last I saw her she was living in her car. Had just moved to a new school in 5th grade. Was never great at making new friends, so I thought I'd sugar them up by bringing sugar mixed with Kool-Aid, something that was popular at my old school. Who doesn't love a bunch of 10-year-olds licking their fingers and dipping them in a baggie of sugar? Apparently, an older kid had given several first graders heroin during this time, and it got pegged on me. I was removed from class, police came, I cried like a beach, because I didn't understand why they thought my grape Kool-Aid was heroin. I kept telling them to taste it. The principal finally did and realized I was telling the truth. Awesome first week of school. My father was accused of murdering the neighbor's dog and disposing it at a remote beach. When I was a kid, we had a rocky relationship with one of the neighbors because they had a yappy dog that they took very poor care of. It drove the whole street mad, but for some reason it never got taken away by animal control. A few years ago, my parents moved to another part of town. Afterwards, Dad worked on the old house to get it ready to sell. One day he was on the driveway when the neighbors left in their car. They made eye contact. Then, when the neighbors returned, their dog was inexplicably missing. They instantly accused Dad of sneaking over and butchering the dog because he had enough of it. He tried to explain that an animal control van had briefly come through the street shortly after they left, but they weren't having a bar of it. They were so convinced he had done something they started a massive social media campaign to pressure him into admitting it, including invading all the local community groups and outing him. They even went so far as to drive an hour out of town to the beach we often go to in the weekends to put up posters. It was wild, stressful, and stupid. It only stopped after we picked up a lawyer and sent a cease and desist letter threatening to take them to court for public defamation. The dog was never found, and apparently they have 2 new ones now. This was also the same family that found someone's lost cat and decided to keep it.